creatively innovative, talking to you about all sorts of marketing that you can do for your pressure washing business. So we're going to cover everything from warm lead sources such as Google Ads, Bing Ads, your Google business profile on the maps, search engine optimization, referrals, repeat marketing to current clients, even to cold marketing such as Facebook, flyers, yard sale groups, postcards, every door direct mail, which is EDDM, and even truck wraps. So stay tuned as we cover all this information, and I'll start unwrapping it now. So the first thing I want to go over is where those warm traffic leads would be from. So this would be Google Ads and Bing Ads. People are actively looking for your service. You're going to get the instant results that you want to be able to get leads and grow your business and cash flow it to be able to do other marketing services. So with Google Ads, you're going to be able to launch a campaign and basically get leads immediately if it's set up correctly. If it's not set up correctly, you could burn through a lot of cash. So typically your audience on Google Ads is going to be actively looking for you. So you're bidding on a keyword where someone is already looking for it. You're showing up an ad, they're clicking to your website, they're going to call you or fill out a form, and you're going to get leads immediately. Whereas if you compare that to Facebook ads, someone's not actively looking for your service. Instead, they're just perusing through Facebook and you're like, hey, you should stop and talk to me now, and they may not actually convert. Or maybe they do fill out a form, but then you can't get a hold of them. So people on Google search or Bing search, they're actively looking, they want your service, you just have to connect with them and basically convince them that you're the best service. So that's going to be your warmest lead, is through Google Ads. And the fastest too, with that instant gratification of, hey, I got a lead right away. The next thing that we're going to go over is Google Business Profile. That is what people used to call the GMB, Google My Business. It's now called Google Business Profile. This is the map section. So the first 4 ads that you saw on Google are going to be your ads, and then the next 3 are what people call the map pack. The map pack is where your Google Business Profile shows up. And so this is going to usually have your phone number or a link to your website, and it's going to show you your reviews. So it's very important to have a lot of reviews, as this can convince someone to click your, not really your ad, but your listing more often than your competitors. So we highly recommend that you get more reviews and continually ask clients for them. Search engine optimization is kind of twofold here. So you have your map listing and then also your website listing. And both can be improved by doing optimization on the website and off the website. And so what I mean by that is you're able to optimize your website so that there's more content, and then Google sees that there's more relevance to your industry that you're servicing, and they're going to rank you higher on the search results and also on maps, because Google is going to say, hey, your maps listing is connected to your website, and your website has a lot of great content. We should rank your map listing as well. So it's kind of twofold there as far as content optimization. Offsite, as I briefly mentioned, is about getting backlinks from other websites such as articles, other websites locally in your area. It could be from press releases, it could be from blogs, it could be from any sort of thing on the internet, but basically it needs to stick to your same target audience or relevancy. So you want to get articles from other pressure washing, say a blog or a pressure washing website, or from something maybe even just local to your city. The next place you can get more leads is from referrals. Obviously, this seems like a easy one, but at the same time, it's sometimes hard for some people to think, I need to ask my clients to refer me. So how can you do that? Don't just say to your client, hey, you should refer me, or hey, can you make sure to tell your friends about me? Instead, be more intentional and give them examples of, hey, would you mind leaving a review on Facebook and then sharing that in a Facebook group? Like, here's an example. Hey, I just had my house serviced by such and such company. They're a great company. We think you would enjoy them as well. They have great communication. They have lots of 5-star reviews. I'm happy with the service. I'd recommend that you try them out. Something where you give them that example of what to do on Facebook, on Nextdoor, in person if they were talking to someone, and give them that example so they can do it for you. And then the other form of warm marketing is repeat marketing to your previous customers. So this is about text messages, emails or even ringless voicemail drops where you already have a client and you're like, hey, come back and use us again for another service. Or a new service that you have. And so this is one way that you might be able to add additional lifetime value to that client, because you're able to, just connect with them again and say, hey, try us out for this other service we have. The next set of marketing tactics I want to go after is the cold marketing tactics. So this is going to be the thing is where people don't actively search for your service, but you're trying to reach them to use your service. So that's where Facebook, flyers, and the signs come in. So Facebook can be very interesting. So Facebook for the pressure washing industry is hit or miss depending on where you're at. I've heard some people do really well with it. I've heard people say they haven't done well with it. We personally don't offer it at our agency. We're focused on just Google Ads and SEO. But there are agencies that have tried and they're like, it doesn't get consistent results. And so here's where I've heard most people do really well is they post in Facebook yard sale groups or garage sale or classifieds, if you would. And those are basically the places where people list things for sale. And so you have to watch which ones actually allow you to post without being too much spam or too many businesses posting. And you want to go in there and basically post not too sales pitchy, but basically something along the lines of, hey, we just washed a neighbor's house. If anyone else is interested in getting a quote, contact us for a quote, and then leave your contact details in the comment section, not in the actual post. Because if you post in the actual post, Facebook's going to look at you and say, well, this guy wants to send traffic away from Facebook. We don't like this post. And they're going to lower your algorithm. And so you have to be intentional about it and basically make it just a text post, make the comment section where you put any outside links. Say DM me for a quote, whatever you have to do just to get away from the links. The other thing to keep in mind is the way your algorithm posts on those groups, it really comes down to how you interact on Facebook. So if you don't use Facebook actively, you don't have a lot of posts that are engaged with, if there's just not a lot to your algorithm, you aren't going to be seen that often. So it is worthwhile to, on your behalf, to post some things maybe that aren't business related to your personal page and get some engagement there and basically try to get your algorithm up. Because I've noticed my wife and I could post the exact same thing in a Facebook group and I would get a higher engagement than her, and it was just simply because I use Facebook a little bit more often. Now, if you're like, hey, I don't use Facebook that often, I'm not going to get it, I don't like it, that's fine. Just don't get leads from Facebook. Don't do it as often, or just don't expect the same results. But if you're looking to get the most out of it, I do encourage you to increase your algorithm by trying to get engagement on posts that maybe aren't as much business related. Post some family things that you've done. Post something about nature, something that gets engagement, gets people to be talking. So just keep that in mind, that the algorithm will affect your results. Flyers is the next one. So after you've completed a job, so it's house washing, roof cleaning, window cleaning, whatever it might be in this industry, as I know I'm trying to keep it specific to the pressure washing industry, go around and put a flyer on the 10 houses around. Like physically put it on their door and basically say, hey, we washed so-and-so's house. Here's a quote for you. You might even just write it there on that door hanger. Or you might just have something like here's a promo for being a neighbor of this person. Something that encourages them to take a look at that house that we just washed, notice the difference, call us, we can do the same thing for you as well. Some people do that as with a postcard where they call them 5 round or 10 rounds, but here's the thing is you're already at that job. You can just walk over there and put it in there, and you don't wait 4, 5, 6, 7 days for that postcard to arrive, and you have to pay for the postage and whatever software you use. So that's why I recommend doing the flyer method. It might be a little bit more noticeable than just putting it in their mailbox with the other 20 pieces of junk mail that they get as well. Yard signs. So this is one where I've heard everything from yard signs of, oh, I'm just going to do a bandit yard sign. It just says power washing, house washing, roof cleaning, and has a phone number, doesn't even have a company name on it, and I'm going to put them everywhere. That can work, and I know it does work for a lot of people. People have grown their business tremendously using yard signs. But here's where I think you can stand out. I was in Denver a month ago, and basically I was at a stoplight, so I'm stopped, I can see the thing, and I saw a sign for junk monkeys. And it said junk removal. It was purple and yellow, had a picture of a monkey on it, had a banana, and I was like, now that's a cool business. Not just because of the branding, but because of the whole thing. I could basically go, hey, that's a company that's professional. And so you have to think about, what do your clients think when they see your sign? Is it worth an extra buck or two to make them full color and make it a little bit more professional? It may be. And they might remember your brand. Whereas if I saw a sign that said house washing and I just couldn't remember the phone number, I'm not gonna be able to look them up. But I know exactly what I saw when I saw junk monkeys, junk removal. I could Google them today, and I'm sure we could look them up to see what they were about. But that's what I encourage you, is to think what your end user is going to see and remember. And what do you remember? If you saw a sign, do you have to take a picture of it, or can you remember that full phone number? And so keep that in mind when you're making yard signs. Postcards or every door direct mail, you can do it either way. Sometimes postcards, people just try to select a certain group, but I believe EDDM is really the way to go, because you can pick which houses you want in certain neighborhoods. It's basically the route of the USPS carrier, and you can pick all the high-end homes in a certain area. You can really narrow down who you're going to actually target, and so it's way more targeting than you might do with other forms of marketing. Now, yard signs, you can do the same thing. Put the yard sign at the beginning of that neighborhood, or you could target certain things based upon, I'm just thinking of like the Facebook groups, where you might target a certain group on Facebook because that's where they're at. You put yard signs, but every door direct mail directly to a postal carrier's route really is going to get a really good target audience. But here's where it gets a little tricky. If someone sees a piece of mail once, are they going to remember you? Maybe not. Twice? Oh, I think you're going to be top of mind when they go, I've seen this before. Third time, they're going to be like, oh yeah, I've seen this guy before. Maybe I should call him. So when you think about how you're going to do your flyers, you might want to think about the size of the flyer, the promo, or what exactly the person's going to think in the end of your brand. Is it going to be this or that they're going to remember? What's that unique selling point? And then do it often. So if you're going to send postcards, you might do it 3 to 4 weeks apart, but do it over the course of 6 months. Be consistent with sending out flyers or postcards, because you don't know when someone's ready to buy, and you want to make sure you're always top of mind when they do come to or want to use your service. And the final one is truck wrap. So when you're driving your truck around to do a house wash or roof cleaning, and someone sees you're working on it, if you have a truck wrap, they can easily see your brand, your phone number, your website address, and they can look you up. You don't want to make it so that you're like, who's that company? Are they professional or not? You want to make it so they can easily reach out to you. So having a professional image on your truck can really help. Now, you could start out with just a magnet on your front door. You could do a partial wrap, where it's just the front of your truck or the back of your truck. But think about where the consumers are looking. It is the back of the truck when you're driving around, or even the side when they pull up to you. You may not need to do the front of the hood just yet, especially if you're trying to save money. And so just think about how people interact with you and what they might see. So your brand needs to be really big and large across the truck so they can see it. Your phone number and your website should be easily visible. But some of the things that may not need to be visible is whether or not you're on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Like, yeah, I get it. I could look you up for those, but that doesn't need to be your biggest icons or captions or whatever you want to call it on your truck. Keep that a little bit more minimized, and keep your brand front and center and what you do. We offer X, Y, Z. So that can really help you with trying to reach your audience right there as you're doing your job. So to recap on all of these, you've got your warm marketing leads and your cold marketing leads. And your warm marketing leads are going to get you faster results because people are actively looking for you, or it's a warm handoff from a referral. Referrals can go either way, cold or warm. So just keep those in mind with what you're trying to do. If I were to do this, like my professional experience, I would do Google Ads first to get an instant gratification of I'm going to get leads right away. That's how I'm going to start cash flowing my other parts of my business. And so that's where I would start with Google Ads. And then on your own, you might add in some of the Facebook posting so that you can get those out there. And then you start, maybe working in maybe the yard sale signs, and so, or the yard signs, and so you're putting those out at jobs or as you're leaving jobs because you're like, hey, this is a good neighborhood. I'm going to put this out at the edge of the neighborhood. Just be mindful, there are certain HOAs that don't allow signs. And so you start with the Google Ads, you do some yard signs, do a couple flyers. I wouldn't go into EDDM until you're a little deeper into more cash flow for your business. Maybe you're doing over maybe about $20,000 a month or more before I would start doing that, just because it can take longer to set up that branding. As far as SEO goes, I think it's a similar thought process. I always tell a lot of our clients that you really should be about at around 20K before you start doing SEO. The reason is it can take some time for it to kick in and for that ROI to be there. And so we kind of recommend it basically do ads, cash flow it, make sure the website's looking good, and then start SEO a little bit later. Truck wraps and maybe some of the more, well, I mentioned the postcards, things like that. Those are ones where you kind of have to weigh where you're at in your business. Start with the magnet, go to a partial wrap, maybe go to a full wrap later, but kind of think about where you're at. You don't want to just start spending money into spots that don't have that return on your investment right away. So that's why we recommend the ads first, SEO a little bit later, and kind of work in some of the smaller or free options along the way. What else what are some other thoughts that you guys have? You can leave it in the comments below this video and share with other guys something that you can do. If you have any questions about Google Ads or SEO, you can connect with us on our website, creativelyyinnovative.com, and then like and subscribe to this video because we've got more content coming out on how you can get more leads for your pressure washing business. Thank you guys for watching and have a great day.